Hello everyone. So today we're going to be solving the Hack the Box machine 2 million, and it was released to celebrate 2 million Hack the Box users. So let's dive in. First thing I'm going to get going is an Nmap scan. And whilst that's running, I'm going to try put the IP into the browser. As we can see, it is redirecting us to 2million.htb. So I'm going to add that to my host file and then try to connect again. And this time we can see it's brought us to this website. And this website seems to be an older version of Hack the Box. So if you go through this website and enumerate a little bit, we can find that to create an account we're going to need an invite code. So if we check the source code of this invite page, we can see a bit of JavaScript that verifies if our invite code is valid. We can see that it's calling this invite API to do so. So if we follow this invite API and have a little look at it, we can see that it's some JavaScript, and this JavaScript looks a bit obfuscated, which means it's been modeled around and to make it harder to read. There are many tools to sort of de-obfuscate JavaScript, and the one I'm choosing to use today is Unpacker. So if we run this code through Unpacker, we get a completely different set of JavaScript now, and these two codes will run completely the same, except one is really difficult to understand, and one is what you would write it in the first place. So this code has two functions. One is the verify function, which we've seen used on the invite web page, and the other is a how to generate function. To investigate further, we can send a blank post request using curl, and we get this message back. It's a success message. Then it comes with this data. Then the data is stored with encryption type ROT13 written with it, and we get another hint saying data is encrypted. We should probably check for encryption type in order to decrypt it. So we know it's ROT13 encryption. We search up ROT13, we get ROT13, and we get ROT13.com. The decrypted message says, in order to generate the invite code, make a post request to API v1 invite generate. So we make a post request to invite generate, and it returns a code. Lovely. But if we try this to use this code in the invite box, it doesn't work. And why is this? It's because it's encoded once again. And this encoding is base 64 encoding, so we can run this through our shell, decode the base 64, and then it finally gives a working we can use and create an account. So once we've created an account and logged, we can take a little look around the website. Here we can find another API call request to generate a VPN. At this point I decided to pull up Burp Suite to further investigate this API endpoint. If we send a GET request to API v1, then we can see that it returns a list of endpoints. We get a permission denied if we try and call the admin functions with get and post. However, if we try the put function with the settings update endpoint, we get a warning saying that this is an invalid content type. We know that this API replies in JSON, so we change the content type to JSON, and we can try again, and this time it returns a different message saying it's missing the parameter email. So let's try and supply the email parameter. And now it gives us another message saying that it's missing the parameter isAdmin. As you can see, isAdmin can either be 0 or 1. So let's change it to 1 and try again. Now we can check this by calling the API v1 admin auth endpoint. Now we get a true message. So now we can generate VPNs if we supply a username. As only admins can call this endpoint, there is the possibility that there is less filtering. Because of this, we can try doing some command injection after the username. And as you can see, it's running our command and returning data back to us. As we know it's running commands, we can now create a reverse shell. We will need to encode the payload in base 64. We can find an environment variable file, and within this it gives us a database username and a database password. When we try these credentials, we can log into the SSH admin account. We now have the user flag. We are still not the root user though. In var_mail, we can see an email addressed to the admin. In this email, it mentions that the system may be vulnerable to CVE 2023-0386. So we can download this exploit, which I'll link in the description below. Then we can upload it to the system. Now we can run the exploit. And now we have the root flag. There is another message within the root directory, which is a thankyou.json. I think it'd be improper if I didn't decode this as well. This is a URL encoded piece of data. So if you just use the website to decode it, and it seems to be now encoded in hex. So let's decode the hex using a website once more. And now it is both base 64 and XORed using the key hack the box. So let's once again decode it. And it leaves us this letter, a thank you from the hack the box team.